Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. I don't think we'll be here more than an hour or two. Okay. Maxine Lawrence, hello to you. Lydia Washington, Maurice Brown, Puzzle Dot, Cookies and Cream, Heather Stroud, Fancy Fancy, Novi D, and Mary H. Nolatondo, Niandini, thank you so much for being here. Okay, and Olivia Johnson, thank you so much for being here first, and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. And listen, if you all don't have a membership, it's not too late. For the price of a cup of coffee, just $4.99 a day goes a long way to help support this channel. If you notice, I don't put those scrawls and everything across the screen because I think it's too distracting. But I'll just say it this time and probably later. A membership for the price of a cup of coffee once a month. And of course, you can do that every month, $4.99. You can help support this channel. This free information, entertainment. Yeah, just $4.99. So think about it. Okay. See, Fancy Fancy has a membership. Joan Garcia has one. Lydia Washington, Carol Lunn, $4.99. Okay, let's get on with it. There is a bit of a meltdown, as you can imagine, because the Sussexes are not on the verge of collapse. As a matter of fact, they just keep thriving. And it is really starting to get on people's nerves, at least certain people. You know who those people are, the usual suspects. All right. Okay, let me go here. So, what a surprise! A bonus, a special bonus. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Sussex, dare I say the people's princess, but I ain't going to go that far because it seems to really grate on people's nerves when you say that. Anytime they get the idea that there is a people's princess title for our Duchess, oh my goodness, they melt into the floor. They just I'm melting like the Wizard of Oz. So I know what I can say that won't get on their nerves. Her Royal Highness HRH Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. I think that's pretty safe. HRH Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. See there? You can say that and you don't get in trouble. All right. And anyway, well, we all know who it is. We all know who the surprise. Matter of fact, just in case you don't know, or just in case you didn't bother. Oh, there it is right there. Okay. Just in case you're not looking at the screen, or should I say the chat? Yeah, just in case you're not. Let's do a little sample here. I'd rather do that. Okay. Little sample. Okay. Oh no, that is too funny. I wish I could have saved that. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. Do I want to do this one? Yeah. No. Nope, not that one. Welcome. If you just joined us, please make sure you hit the like button. I am trying to play that little sample of the. Oh, I know where to get that from. What was I thinking?
Next week, we've got one more very special interview for you. A bonus episode, because when a matriarch calls and when this matriarch calls, oh, you answer.
That's why I fight so hard. Now I tell them every day, you belong anywhere. I mean, since they were little girls, you belong anywhere you choose to be.
Can you guess who it is? This one is so special, y'all. I'll see you next week.
Okay. This one is so special, y'all. I'll see you next week. Aha. You all know who it is. Let me see. Yeah, Marshar says it. Tina knows. Tina knows best. There we go. Well, talk about 6 degrees of separation. I never really understood what that means, but I think it has something to do with everybody seems to know somebody. You keep running back into people. If you just go to, like, at least if you take any random, at least 6 people, they all seem to know each other or connected in some kind of way. Isn't that what that means? I don't know why did I say it if I'm not sure. Anyway, so there's Tina Knowles. Will be the next guest on Duchess Meghan's podcast, the duo we never knew we needed. The duo that we never knew we needed. You know what? I would love to see like Mama Doria and have a podcast with some of her good girlfriends, because as you can see, she's good girlfriends with Tina Knoll. Yeah, I would love that, or at least like I'm trying to figure out what kind of scenario could we have where all of these famous moms are like hanging out together. That would be so cool. I would love to see that. And then of course, you might remember this was at the Kinsey collection where there's Tina, and of course, one of the luckiest guys on the face of the earth. Gosh, what is his name? Now I forgot what his name is. But anyway, anyway, um, here you have this kid from Brazil that is popping up all over Hollywood, here, there, and everywhere. And on the same night, he's posed for a photo with the matriarch. He's posed for a photo with the Duchess of Sussex. And he actually, I tell you what, I will go. I'll tell you what he said about that night. It was pretty special for him. And this kid is going to definitely see all kind of people that he has brushed across paths with, should I say, over the years. Okay, Mateos Coelho, and yeah, he was just in the right place at the right time, and actually met the legendary mom Tina, the matriarch, and of course took a photo with our Duchess. And okay, I seem to have trouble getting his page up. Ah, there it is. He says, so many amazing things are about to happen, and I'm thrilled to share these pictures from the incredible event hosted by Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan for the Kinsey collection. I feel honored to have been part of it. There were so many amazing people that I met in Hollywood. These were the most caring, kind-hearted, and special individuals. Great night, he says. Great night, he says. And so, yeah, I went digging through my archives and I just kind of found this one, I found that one, and check it out. There's our Duchess and her mom there, and there's Mama Doria right there. And of course, the Feminegra, they have an article featuring Meghan Sussex's confession of a female founder to feature Tina Knowles next week. And whose picture did they use? Mama Doria's. Somehow, there may be a photo out there, but somehow we didn't get any photos with Meghan and Tina. At least I couldn't find any. Or should I say Miss Tina? I couldn't find any photos of the two of them together. But yeah, all of this reminds me of that night at the Kinsey collection. So let me find that Feminegra article, which somehow I mistakenly deleted. But I'll go back and grab it, and then we'll see what they had to say about it. Okay. Oh. Here we go. So, Feminegra says, Tina Knowles will appear on a bonus episode of Meghan Sussex's podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder, set to release on June 3rd, 2025. News of this guest has sparked excitement across social media, with fans eager to hear from Beyonce's and Solange's mother. Tina is celebrated for her influence in fashion and music. Listeners expect this conversation to explore those connections and dive into Tina's personal and professional journey. Now, how Tina and Meghan relationship grew. Tina Knowles and Meghan Sussex have developed a bond rooted in admiration and culture. In 2019, Tina praised Meghan's strength during an interview at the Soul of the Nation exhibit in Los Angeles. She called Meghan a beautiful, intelligent, independent young woman and a great representation for our people. Come on, Tina. Beyonce and Jay-Z also showed their support for Meghan at a 2019 Brit Award. They accepted an award in front of a portrait of Meghan wearing a crown. This gesture highlighted the respect between these families and their shared vision. Cultural advocacy and social bonds. The two families have often found themselves at the same event, deepening their connection. In 2024, Meghan and Harry hosted an event for the Kinsey African American History and History collection at the SoFi Stadium. Tina and Meghan's mother, Doria Ragland, shared warm moments together. Photos from the event confirm that their bond grows beyond celebrity circles. So, like I said, it's pretty cool that we have these photos from the Kinsey collection. Okay. And then, of course, Meghan and Doria attended Beyonce's Renaissance tour in 2023. This year, Meghan and Harry also made headlines, that is, at Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour. Their appearance went viral for how in love they looked, adding to the moments that have strengthened Meghan's bond with the Knowles family. So, yeah, it's so cool. They all just seem to, hanging out together and everything. And I like to see that because it's a tough business, and to have friends and of course to have your family and your friends and like-minded people who are familiar with being high profile and know the struggle that goes with that. It's a relief to me to see moments like that. So I'm glad for it. Joan Garcia says haters can cry their eyes out about their lies that no one likes our Duchess Meghan, while squatties continue to laugh it up. Yes, thank you so much for that, Joan Garcia. That is so true. They will not stop that ridiculous banter about, oh, they don't, Hollywood has turned. But you know what? I have not heard that a lot lately. Thank God. I haven't heard that a lot lately. The Hollywood is turned against them. They don't have any friends. You just made me realize I have not heard that a lot lately. Kinsey Schofield has practically built her entire last couple of years in media based on this notion that she has some inside information about what's happening with the Sussexes and who's got it in for them and who doesn't like them. And the funny thing is, she's supposedly in the Hollywood area, right? And there is a collection called the Kinsey Collection. And even though that's her first name, she didn't know anything about it. She certainly wouldn't want to be there because it seemed like it's too many people that she would never identify with. But and I'm glad she doesn't show up for that stuff. Number one, she probably couldn't get in. And number two, even if she could, I don't think she could afford it. I just don't think she could afford it. Those appearances and such that she's making every day, trust and believe, they are not paying that much money. They really are not. I think we all know very well that the Royal Rota and Royal Reporters and such, they don't pay a lot of money for those appearances and such. I mean, but it's easy money. It really is easy money. All you got to do is sell your soul out. But it doesn't pay a whole lot. And they are not really making it into the mainstream media, so to speak. They're not really making it into the mainstream. That ended almost as soon as the Oprah Winfrey interview was over. There was very little of that. That first year the Sussexes was here, I think that some of the, the nastier people were able to get on American television. But gosh, what is the words that I'm looking for? How do I want to describe it? Oh, I know. Here we go. Yes, that's it. That's the word.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And then there's the book, Tina Knowles, Matriarch, a Memoir. You guys, I'm obsessed with this book. I'm obsessed with it because I heard a little snippet from the book, and I'm just like, did we talk about that already? Or did I just, I don't know if I did or I didn't, but I tell you what, I want to talk about it tonight. First, let me do this. I'm going to pin to the top of the chat the Prince Archie, Princess Lilibet, what is it? Assistance League of Los Angeles. Yeah, I'm going to put that at the top. That is a confirmed, charity fundraiser that comes from the Sussex community, such and such. Anyway, it's a trusted site. So if you are so inclined to make a donation, there's the link right there, and we'll keep sharing it. So if you can't do it tonight, you'll get a chance to do it another time. Okay. All right. Let's continue here. But anyway, I love the book cover. That is beautiful. You have that gorgeous Rococo picture frame, right? And then you have the very layered abstract Tina Knowles. Yeah, that is very cool. Love a little Rococo. There we go. The matriarch. Matriarch Tina Knowles. Tina knows best. Of course she does. She should. She's a matriarch. All right. Now, why am I obsessed with this book? I'm going to let you know right now. We're going to listen to Miss Tina describe a situation that really has given her some it has given her major street credit as far as I'm concerned. And I'm just so excited. I couldn't wait to share it with you. Okay, here goes.
We're really young, but one of the things that I got from the book, though, was how hard you had to fight to allow them to express their style. And
Yes.
that was really interesting
that
about
for
how
sure
long that
happened.
went on. There was one story you told about that kind of stands out to me. There was a magazine cover shoot where they wanted to put Beyonce's hair in a bun. And you were like, they're not going to put your hair in a bun. Why does her hair have
Right.
to be in a bun? And also, Maxwell was in that same cover shoot. And you
Yes.
talked about the fact that this was at a point where people know Maxwell. He had this crown of hair that was kind
This
of his
beautiful
signature,
crown of hair.
but they wanted him to put on a hat. Now, what was that about? And you were like, don't let them make you put on a hat. You took his hat off and were picking out his
I took
hair.
his hat off. I didn't even know him. They put a Big Apple hat on him, which was very cute because, he's gorgeous no matter what, but he looked sad. And so I walked over and I said, why do you look so sad? And I didn't know him. And he said, oh, they made me put this hat on. And I said, well, and I.
Why is this not working? Oh, I know what it is.
That I learned with my mom. But when they started traveling, I wanted to earn my keep. So that.
Oh my goodness. All right. I see what happened. The screen went black on me.
Girls back. Do you want to tell them?
Because they were just doing what they knew and they felt like.
Okay, I think I went just a little bit too far.
Leibovitz? Wasn't that Annie Leibovitz?
Yes,
who
it
was
was.
kind of famous.
All right. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. A little technical thing I overlooked.
Your hair in a bun. Why does her hair have
Right.
to be in a bun? And also, Maxwell was in that same cover shoot. And you
Yes.
talked about the fact that this was at a point where people know Maxwell. He had this crown of hair that was kind
This
of his
beautiful
signature,
crown of hair.
but they wanted him to put on a hat. Now, what was that about? And you were like, don't let them make you put on a hat. You took his hat off and were picking out his
I took
hair.
his hat off. I didn't even know him. They put a Big Apple hat on him, which was very cute because, he's gorgeous no matter what, but he looked sad. And so I walked over and I said, why do you look so sad? And I didn't know him. And he said, oh, they made me put this hat on. And I said, well, and I took it off and I took my pick and started picking his hair out. And Beyonce was mortified. I looked over at her and she was like, Mom, what are you doing? You don't even know this man and you're touching on his hair. But Maxwell and I connected that day and we're really good friends. And, he tells that story all the time because why did they want Beyonce to put her hair in a bun and for him to put a hat on?
Why did
To
they?
me, it was maybe not intentional, but it was, a microaggression. Like you guys kind of toned it down. And I didn't like that. So I spoke up and I was just so green that I didn't even know who these people were. The photographer who wanted it done.
Well, you tell that story over and you had a number of stories like that. Hey, wasn't that Annie Leibovitz? Wasn't that Annie Leibovitz
Yes,
who was
it was.
who was kind of famous? And you're like, you know what? We're not doing it.
Not
that way.
kind of. I was like, I didn't know I really didn't know who she was. And it wouldn't have mattered if I had known who she was, because I just wasn't putting Beyonce's hair in a bun.
Well,
Because that was not her signature.
was
It
not her
wasn't her
signature.
look.
well, you had this, but you talked about this happened like over and over again. And in fact, one of the music
Mhm.
companies that you talked to actually talked to your ex, Matthew Knowles, who was their manager, and and actually said to him that you were holding the girls back. Do you want to tell that
Mhm.
story?
Well, just because they were just doing what they knew, and they felt like, you know, 4 Black girls, curvy country Black girls from Texas with big hair and very Motown-esque costumes were not, that wasn't the style. They were right, and that wasn't the style then. There were all these pop icons with huge careers, and they felt like they should look like them, and they should wear jeans and midriff tops, and they were like, this is so Motown, it's so over the top. But we liked over the top. We were from Texas. You know, they wore cowboy hats, they looked different. And I think that was refreshing to the audience, because in the meantime, people were coming up to us all the time saying, we can't wait to see what you guys are going to have on next.
Okay, so that gives you a little idea what you can find in the book. So Tina Knowles, mother of Beyonce and Solange, discusses new memoir, Morning Edition, NPR. So that's an NPR interview, and I will put the I'll put the link for it on the community space. The what do they call it now? Community post, so you can see the entire half-hour interview. But yeah, that is just a little sample of it. I thought that was fantastic. I mean, it's just like that. That is being a mother. That is being a mother. Not and what I get from Tina Knowles is that she's not just a mom, she's the mom when she needs to be. So there's Maxwell, who you can see in the center right there, and he wants to have his signature hair. They put a hat on him. And Beyonce, you know, her signature hair, they want to put it in a bun. And let's face it, Annie Leibovitz is kind of well known to not really have a good idea what to do when she's photographing Black people. I mean, she has a good idea of what she wants to do, but she doesn't seem to know how to do what's most flattering for her Black subjects of in the photos, her clients. She doesn't seem to know exactly where to draw a certain line. And so I've heard her tell this story before, where one of Annie Leibovitz's assistants comes to Tina and says, you know, her hair, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, no, she's not putting her hair in a bun. That's her signature hair. And it was like, well, Annie Leibovitz would like to talk to you, kind of thing. And she just was not going to bend. Connie Ballmer. Hey, Connie Ballmer. But yeah, she was not going to yield to the photographer's authority. And as you can see, she didn't care who she was, whether she knew the photographer. But that kind of confidence is so important, because a lot of people, you know, I would probably myself be terrified in a situation like that. I'd have a big lump in my throat trying to, you know, stand up for myself, because it's not that you're afraid of a person, you're afraid of how it's going to impact your career. See, there's a difference in being afraid of someone and being afraid of the outcome. That's two different things. And then at a certain point, you just make that decision, like, whatever happens, come what may, come hell or high water, I feel like this is more important than that. So, Very good life lesson. Very good life lesson. Let's see. Marsha says Mama Tina was not having it. None of that. They always want us black women to hide our hair. Black men too. Bunk that. We are proud of who we are and how God made us. You know, Marshar, I just saw a runway model. Well, actually, was she just runway? Well, I don't know if she just did runway or anyway. She is a very well paid model, and I believe she's from Africa. I forget which country she was from, and she said they never want her to use her hair. They don't want her to use any hair. And so a high percentage, a majority of the black models, especially if they are darker, the designers, whenever they have these fashion shows, fashion shoots, they do not want them to use their hair. They do not want them to use anything but a little afro, or they want them to shave their heads. And I'm just like, okay, I understand that okay, that aesthetic is highly desirable nowadays, right? And I'm glad for that. And if it was just the occasional model, I would be like, wow, that's so cool that there's that type of diversity and acceptance. But now it's at the point where if you are tall, slender, and of darker skin, it's almost mandatory because they don't want to deal with it. But then again, I have to say, well, am I being too narrow-minded? Could it be that they just feel that type of aesthetic is preferable? But how many white models are there where they were told that they need to cut all their hair off? So that's where it gets kind of tricky. It gets very tricky right there because not all models want to do it, and not all designers feel the same way about it. And then, of course, it really comes down to you want someone who's going to make your design more flattering and appealing. So it is so subjective. I'm not sure how deep it goes or whatever, but I don't know. I'm not comfortable when I hear someone say, I want to use my hair. I want my hair longer. Is it just laziness because they don't want to hire someone that does black hair? You know what I mean? And I've been in a situation years ago. I haven't told the story, but I was on foreign television years ago. And when went to report to makeup, hair and makeup, and you see what they had available, and God bless the hairstylist that confidently did what she needed to do. It may not have exactly been, she may have not been the best person to do it, but I give her points for being confident enough to just, not stand there looking puzzled, but to do something. So anyway, I'll tell that story another time. But I've been in that situation before, and it's very interesting to see how they approach black hair. Always interesting. Okay. And gosh, if that happened to me on just one occasion, I could imagine what it must be for, someone like Beyonce or whoever it is. Okay, Joy Amore, thank you very much for the super sticker, and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Okay. Oh no. How'd that happen? Okay. All right. I'm going to go to the next slide. And that's just this one right here. Love this. Love this. Queen Tina. Queen Tina. Also, what I love is that Tina is very old school when it comes to uh, my daughters, my sons, because if you've grown up in a Black community here in the U.S., you know that, oh, that's my play daughter, that's my play brother, that's my play sister. That means that the families are so close, or that that there has not been like this big thing with um, children and family services, is probably someone that you know very well. It's not unusual to take in someone's child and instantly, there doesn't it doesn't involve, what do you call it, legal documents. That's your brother. That's your sister. Keep it moving. So yeah, that is a very important thing in the Black community. So when Tina says, that's my daughter, then she means that. She says, I have many kids that I consider my children, and they could come to me for advice. They can just come over and eat, but they know I'm always there for them. So I am just loving me some Tina Knowles. Okay, this spot of bother. This spot of bother. And I had no idea about the size of wigs and couldn't take advice or help. Yeah. Well, what do they say? It'll look more natural on stage. It'll look more natural on television. But yeah, and nowadays, of course, when there's with just about anything, they don't do the actors or actress hair every day. They set those wigs and slap them bad boys on top of their head and keep it moving. And keep it moving. So yeah, nowadays wigs are used more in live and recorded performances than ever before. And I tell you, some of those wig artists, I am so impressed with what they can do with that hair and then put it on, and it looks so, even if it looks wiggy, it still looks good. Even if you can clock it, it doesn't even matter. It still looks good. It's amazing what they could do. Okay, royal fans left baffled at Meghan's Montecito garden haul of homegrown vegetables because some aren't in season. You know what, guys? um, I almost didn't want to bother with this, but I wanted to share my theory about this. I really wanted to share my theory about this. And that is, okay, do notice the big bag, that huge what do you call it, straw bag that Meghan uses. She loves those big bags that you put under your arm, and you carry all these huge things. And well, I I don't know if I don't think I've ever shared these paparazzi photos, but I'm going to share them to make a point. This is Meghan at a farmer's market. Meghan loves the farmer's market. I am suspicious of people who do not love a farmer's market. And so if something is out of season, yeah, it's out of season. Great point. It just goes to show how obsessive some people are, that they are trying to track down the season when this grows or that grows. But if you go to a farmer's market, there is usually a lot of vegetables there that are out of season. Not everything is exactly in season. And some people go to the wholesalers Not everybody is growing these vegetables. They go to the wholesalers and get those vegetables so that they can have a chance to do some direct sale in their community, which is a great thing. But I never suspected that, oh, wow, look at the size of that squash. Did you grow that yourself? Maybe they did, maybe they did not. But not everybody is actually growing their own vegetables and then take them to the farmer's market. There's various ways that the food is brought to the market. And there's Meghan on this outing. And look, she just happens to, is that Guy or is that Mamma Mia? I think that's Guy. I think it's Guy. Let's see. This is an old one. So, I can't tell. But my point is, Meghan goes to the farmer's market. And so chances are she went to the farmer's market and went and purchased some produce and just happened to see how cute it was that Mamma Mia is inspecting everything, given the products that seal of approval. And so she took a picture of it. No big deal. That's it. And that's all. There's nothing nefarious going on here, but it's more important for them to make you believe that Meghan is trying to convince everyone. Like, for instance, there is an ear of corn, I believe I'm seeing right there. I don't think that Meghan has corn growing in her backyard. Maybe she does. I don't know. But produce is shipped from all over the world. Pretty much we're not restricted to this season or that season. We can have a lot of things year round. A lot of these things end up in some big gigantic refrigerator somewhere. So what's the fuss? If they paid more attention to what was going on in their own lives, then all of this attention they give to every little thing, like the way Meghan, I don't know, holds her head, or is she looking to the right or to the left? Is Harry in front of her or behind her? Is Lily wearing boots from an American designer, or is it a British? Who cares? But obviously someone does. But that's my theory, is that Meghan probably went to the farmer's market and went and purchased some items and brought them home. End of. Because there's a lot of people who don't want to use individual plastic for every item that they buy. I avoid it myself. I buy my lemons and my limes loose. I buy my avocados loose. I do not use those little bags that they have at the supermarket. And when they ring them up, I just put them in my repurposed, reused Trader Joe's bag, so not to generate the plastic waste. So wherever Meghan acquired these beautiful vegetables from, I am pretty sure that she just put them inside of this big woven bag that she has, because that's what she uses. I'm like, give it a rest. Yeah, grasping for straws. Yeah, and produce grows year-round in California. Do they think we just go entire seasons with no access to bell peppers or an onion? Oh, wait. There you go. You got a bell for that. You got a bell for that. Absolutely. And they made it seem like, aha! Like they really have solved some huge caper. Like, aha, hell, it's just some vegetables. she didn't record herself pulling all of these vegetables from her garden. I don't think that was the point. It's a cute picture. Nosy dog, happy Meghan equals photo. That's it. I think it's adorable. But to try to find something sinister about it, and mind you guys, I didn't even read the article. I just grabbed the screenshot. I didn't even read the article because I figured it was something stupid. But yeah, I love farmers markets. And of course, oh gosh, what is her name? I cannot read the signature, but oh, oh, I see the letter A and I can't remember her name. But anyway, our favorite artist who creates those images of the Sussexes and other royals, to be fair. But Noes. Is it Amelia Noes? Amelia Noes, I think. Yeah, so that's one of the images. I didn't even realize that I had that until I started, looking through the different images I have archived, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. So we love her. We love Erica Christine 15. And she promised that she was not going to use any profanity today. But even if she does, I mean, I love when she expresses herself, but when she does that, then it makes it difficult to share it with you because, I don't want to get in trouble. But anyway, you guys, she's in a very good mood. And you can see her not link, but her, TikTok name there. So you can spend an hour or two going through her TikTok. She has, anyway, I love her work and I'm going to share it with you.
We just pulled up.
Okay, not you, girl. I don't want to see you. Okay.
Because Meghan is trying to put us
Okay, sorry, not that one either.
all in an early box.
All right. Oh my goodness, I should have had that queued up. But is this the one? No. Okay. You know what? Why do they? Oh, okay. Okay, I can do better than that. I'm doing this the long way. I can do it the easy way. There's an easy way to do this. Or is there? Nope, that was the easy way. Oh, man. Okay. We're going to pause for technical difficulty. Is that it? No, that's not it. It is just, it is too much to ask for them to put these in order. And YouTube does the same thing. It is almost impossible to find something in order. You really have to, anyway, that is to generate engagement. I get it, but it is a nuisance. Okay, let me try this again. No.
We are getting a special episode.
Okay, I do this another way. Sorry about that, you guys. I thought I had this down to a science, but wait a minute. I thought or maybe I didn't. Hmm.
Everyone, I'm going to try to do this without profanity because. Hello, everyone. I'm going to try to do this without profanity because I know me. Really quickly here, I did listen to Confessions of a Female Founder today. Phenomenal final episode. I will do my best to review tonight. If not tonight, definitely tomorrow. We just got back from a little mini vacation because we had a long extended weekend. Forgive me. But in the meantime, guys, we have some phenomenal content creators who have been also dropping tea on the podcast. And I am sure you're going to enjoy their content. I enjoy their content, so I know you will. So in the meantime, check them out. And then tomorrow or today, I will try to get on the ball and do my final episode review. I want to clarify something because I almost went HAM on the unhinged X. That's what I call everybody who always up in our people's business when it comes to Meghan, even though they don't like her. Fast Company did an interview with Meghan. Please read it. It's a phenomenal interview. And I was like, oh my God, this girl is not playing. First order of business. After everything that they have said about Meghan that has been proven wrong, forget all the other stuff, proven to be wrong. Netflix dropped her. They invested in her. With love, Meghan will not return for a second season. Actually, it has. Everything these people have thought about Meghan has just been down the toilet because she's been just blowing it off the lid. In her interview, if people really slow down, because sometimes you got to slow down sometimes. I do it too. I'm a fast reader and I miss very, very important parts. Meghan never said that she's not releasing any products until 2026. She said new products are coming Q1 of 2026, okay? Where'd you guys get that she was shelving the whole thing and she's not shelved, honey. It's not her fault everything's sold out, okay? She's not shelving anything. And for some reason, these morons who don't like Meghan, she's shelving it. Do you understand that everyone, I don't care.
Okay.
Do you understand that everyone, I don't care if you're a fashion designer, I don't care if you make food, people are allowed to bring out new things per year or per quarter. I forgot Meghan is so different. She's supposed to have something every day. She's not allowed to, how many months we got until January 2026? She's not allowed to take a break. You know, stop it. Stop. What that company's interview specifically said was new products are coming in 2026. She even said that her and Netflix are shopping for bigger manufacturers and bigger suppliers. Does that sound like preserves to you? That sounds like maybe stuff to scoop the preserves out or put the preserves in if you want to make a dish. I don't think people are truly ready for what Meghan's about to present to us. I really don't. And there is some panic there. But I also want the supporters to not feed into the panic as well. Everybody just go read the interview. It's a beautiful interview. She mentions Archie's tooth finally coming out. On top of that, she dropped another gem, which I said, please, Meghan, respectfully, your hands are full right now with everything going on. But please, Meghan, get in the fashion business. Do it. You would clean house. Are you kidding me? But she said at a later date, so the confidence is there. Meghan is no longer like, yeah, I better get a cottage license. She's like, anyway, Netflix is my investor, and yeah, we're looking for bigger facilities to hold my stuff. Which makes sense on why she was on that American Airlines flight. Because I was curious. I'm like, ooh, why was she in New York? She's going big, babes. But I want everybody to stop, please, because nothing annoys me more than mis and disinformation when it is clearly there in black and white. And if you don't believe your eyes on what you read in an article, please go back to Ask Ever. Please go back to Meghan. What is she doing, people? What is she telling? What you read in an article, please go back to Ask Ever. Please go back to Meghan. What is she doing, people? What is she telling us? I can't wait to show you what I have in store. Me and my baby girl harvesting honey. Look at all these flowers. Wink, wink. Like, I need everybody to focus. Rome wasn't built in a day. I think, and I am not a Meghan whisperer, but I think everything selling out in 45 minutes was a shell shock to her, because this woman had to, for months, hear all of this negativity and nastiness around her just doing honest work. So she probably did think that they were going to destroy her brand, and all they did was make it more popular. I bet you if I type As Ever right now, there's about 50 articles alone from the British media. So you're not hurting her. You're making her more popular, and you're giving her more fanfare, little do you know. And this time around, when the preserves and the honey drops, this is what I hope the Unhinged can do. Back the hell up and let Meghan's fans get something too. Because a lot of her fans weren't able to get it because the haters were right there scooping it up. And I don't understand why. You guys did your reviews on it. It was terrible. Fantastic. So the second time around, for all of you who didn't get it, you should be able to get it. All the haters got their little, rage bait out. You're good next time, okay? But guys, go check out that interview. It is phenomenal, and read it slowly and drink it in, because what you're going to see is a woman who is not here to play anymore. And I cannot wait to give you guys this review on this last episode. I got some tea to drop on that one. I do. I got some tea. I do. Not Meghan tea, but I got some tea to drop on that. So you guys have a wonderful day. It is hot as hell.
Okay. Well, like she said, I'm not using any profanity. But of course, she wasn't when she's mad, then she's gonna drop a few interesting phrases for us. But yeah, she's I love her. So let's see. We had a super chat. Was it super chat? Oh yeah, Vaughn says, wait, Meghan is buying vegetables out of season? Someone call Agatha Christie. Thank you for that. And Winston Jones, thank you so much for the super sticker. Greatly appreciate it. But yeah, somebody call Agatha Christie, because Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is using her clout, is using her status, using her titles. Yeah, Meghan is using her titles to buy vegetables out of season. That's not what the Queen intended. Meghan is using her HRH title and status to purchase out of season vegetables. That is so wrong on so many levels. Even as a loyal squatty, I am just shocked that she would resort to using her HRH to purchase vegetables that are out of season. How come she doesn't just go to the supermarket like the rest? Oh man, she probably used some of her stationery, the one that she used with her friend, the makeup lady. She probably used some of that same stationery and sent a scathing letter to someone in the produce community demanding that she gets some out of season. Demanding that she gets her out of season vegetables and stuff. So yeah, that is really using some clout, especially when you can just go to your local supermarket. Yeah, cookies and cream, you can pretty much sue anybody, but oh man, you have to be very selective, especially when there are so many um um wrongdoers out there, evil people out there. You have to be very selective of what you want to what you want to pursue because Megan is written about hundreds of times on any given day. So, where would you start? Where would one start? Legs has joined us. Did I see that? Thanks for joining us, Legs. Okay, the ancestors have rallied once again. Worrying time. Channel 5 bosses in crisis talks about future of Vanessa Feltz show just 2 months after launch. Channel execs fear a revamp is needed in order to save the show. Well, gee, I wonder what kind of revamp would possibly put that show on a different course. Oh, I know. Why don't you stop mocking the Sussexes? Why don't you stop going after Meghan? Um, i- if you had something to talk about, you wouldn't have to sit there and try to do these Meghan imitations and such. Maybe that will help the show. Vanessa Feltz hit back at claims new TV show on Channel 5 has flopped after this morning's exit. The veteran broadcaster also responded to critics over her gaudy pink set described as Barbie meets, what is that? Babe station? What does that mean? Anyway, Vanessa Phelps says people need to give her TV show a chance before writing it off. Um, couldn't we say the same thing about Megan's as ever? I'm sorry, with Love Megan? Couldn't we say the same thing about with Love Megan that you should give it a chance before you write it off? Did anybody give Megan that much grace? I'm trying to figure out if there's anyone on all of Salt Island that was thoughtful enough to say, you know what, give Megan's Netflix show a chance. Yeah, give it a chance. Let people come to their own conclusions before we try to poison their minds with a bunch of rhetoric and ahas and gotchas. And why don't we give Megan a break? But nobody ever wants to give Megan a break, but everybody wants to give members of the British media a break, whether they have been seen out with someone young enough to be their own child, or if they have been found wanting in their character, whatever the case may be. We have seen so many people in the British media, whether it's print or television, we have seen so many of them get in trouble, and everybody wants to give them a chance. Now, in this case, you have Vanessa's show, which is a flop, and they insist that her show ought to get a chance. Why would we do that? Why should we give her a chance? Give her a chance for what? Why don't we give her as much grace as they gave Meghan? Right? They do not even see the show. There are people who were hypercritical of Meghan that hadn't even actually seen anything. Lex says the difference is that all of these trolls wrote off Meghan's Netflix show before anyone even seen it. However, people have seen her gaudy show. We know what she has to offer, and it ain't crap. Exactly. Thank you very much for articulating that for me. What is that? Barbie meets Fiona Shrek? Oh yeah, we can start with GB News, Daily Fail, and work our way down. Yeah, Meghan and Harry get grace don't get any kind of grace for anything that they do. They just don't. They are judged sight unseen. According to figures, the midday show titled Vanessa launched to much fanfare on 5, formerly Channel 5, on Monday, but got off to a disappointing start with a surprisingly low number of viewers tuning in for its debut episode. According to figures, Vanessa only attracted 83,000 viewers. In contrast, that is, the show preceding it, Storm Huntley, drew 154,000 viewers, while Home and Away, which aired immediately after, attracted 157,000 viewers. So, you know what that means? She didn't get as many viewers as the other ones. So the show before, oh, this is bad. You know what? Listen to this. Vanessa attracted 183,000 viewers, in contrast to the show preceding, which got 154,000. And the show that was after was 157,000. So that means somewhere between 70 to 80,000 people, or just about half of the people that watched the other shows, got up out of their chair and was like, nope, and walked right out of the room after they switched it off. That means these people literally switched off her show. Do you see how bad that looks? The show preceding received 154,000 viewers. Then your show comes on and it drops. It drops in half. And then when your show is over, then that half of the, let's just say 160,000 people, 80,000 people came back and turned on the telly so that they could continue watching TV. So let's assume that the other 80,000 people were sound asleep, or they probably just got up and walked away and forgot the TV was on or something. Yeah, that's bad. That is bad. That 80,000 people literally just saw Vanessa's face and went, nope, nope. Oh my God, that's embarrassing. That is so embarrassing. You mean to tell me 80,000 people said,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And just turned it off? Approximately 80,000 people saw Vanessa's show was coming and said,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And then when her show was over, then they turned the television back on. Am I reading this wrong, or is that what happened? Woo! I love it. Poor Vanessa. The Ancestors, girl, the Ancestors. Vanessa Feltz Channel 5 show on the brink as ratings plunge amid crisis talks. Vanessa Feltz' new afternoon talk show on Channel 5 is reportedly facing an uncertain future, as disappointing ratings prompt behind-the-scenes crisis talks. Well, in other words, the show stinks. Khadijah says, hey, Baron, off topic, but have you heard that Eddie Merton and Martin Lawrence are in-laws now? No, I did not. Nope, I did not know that. Huh, interesting. Well, that's cool to unite the families if they are. But yeah, thanks for that. I have not heard anything about that. Lex says, when has trolling, abusing Meghan on air actually worked out for any of these people? They have all received their karma. I don't know why the Royal Rota, British media, and British royal family don't rethink their strategy. Just let it go. Right? That's what Tony Braxton said. First thing Monday morning, I'm gonna pack my cares away. Nah. Woo! Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it fly high. And everything's gonna work all right, you know. Let it go. Woo! Let it go. Let it go. Just let it go. I want to say, na, 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 na. Let it flow. That's what they need to do. Just let it go. And it'll be all right. Just say, na, 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 na. Leave Harry and Meghan alone. And watch your prospects improve. Ain't nobody got no time for Vanessa Feltz. Don't nobody want to see a bleach blonde. No. Woo! And she wears those ugly dresses like she works on a farm. No. Woo! Let it go. Let it go. Let it flow. Let it fly. And everything's gonna work all right, you know. Oh, man. Anyway, all the best to you, Vanessa. Leave Meghan and Harry alone, and maybe the ancestors will leave you alone. Well, here's some comments right here. I chose not to identify the people on social media that left the comments, but here goes. Removing themselves from that toxic institution was the catalyst to all of the haters' downfalls. Telling the Sussexes to keep quiet and allow the abuse to continue was the palace goal. Bravo, Harry, for taking your family away. This woman is old and should have more to talk about than other than Meghan. I would think life experiences, some humor, a special guest, something of substance. Imitating Meghan, she looks way too old in the face for that kind of mean girl stuff, right? She looks too old in the face. I mean, she looks like Gloria flippin' Swanson. So the last thing people want to do is turn on, some show and see someone of her caliber and status, making fun of the Duchess of Sussex. But yet she just keeps doing it. So, well, you got what you asked for, didn't you? Phelps. Vanessa Feltz. So now you're like the laughing stock of daytime television. I mean, you literally lost half the audience of the show that preceded your show. And of course, the show that followed your show. What does that tell you when half the audience gets up and says, nope? take the hint. Half of the people just said nope. What do you think that means? Who are they sending that message to? If not you, who? Yeah, she's looking a bit old in the face. As a matter of fact, oh my gosh, do you guys remember? I actually had, oh my goodness, what did I do with that? I had actually made a meme, but I guess I didn't save it. I know I have it somewhere, but I just don't know where it is, where I did a comparison of you know, Vanessa Feltz and Gloria Swanson. And they look, it was hauntingly, let me see, Gloria Swanson. Where is that at? Oh, this one right here. Yes, that one. That one. There are moments when Vanessa Feltz looks just like Gloria flippin' Swanson. Gosh, I wish I could find that. She looks just like her. It's almost haunting how much they look alike. And well, what can I say? They both seems to have their taste for younger men too. They have that in common. Sunset Boulevard. Yeah, she looks like she's going to ask Mr. DeMille's for her close-up. Seriously. Let me see here. I'll show you. I will show you. Oh, of course that would happen. Let me see here. Let me try that again. Oh man, I wish I could find that. I wish I could find it, but I don't think I saved it. But yeah, there you go. See how she's got the, I'm ready for my close-up. Mr. DeMille's, I'm ready for my close-up. Although I have to say, Gloria Swanson looks far more attractive because, well, after all, she's not looking old in the face. She just looks mature, but she doesn't look old in the face like other people. Okay, viewers are frustrated and thoroughly bored with the worn-out model of morning and daytime TV, where bitchiness is portrayed as presenting. Another affliction these particular presenters has the bizarre ability to suck the oxygen out of the room when she speaks. Another person says UK is tired of bitter, dried up women crackling on TV and slagging off Meghan. It's so boring. Vanessa messed up. And lastly, viewers are frustrated and thoroughly bored with the worn out model. Oh, wait, did I do that one twice? Oh, I did that one twice. Okay, never mind. Now, this is what they're talking about. It's boring, insulting to any vestige of intelligence we might possess, and a monumental waste of time. Vanessa doming verdict on With Love Meghan. See there? She didn't give Meghan a chance, but yet she wants everybody to give her a chance. And then take a look there. Meghan Markle is torn apart by Vanessa Feltz in stinging With Love parody. Vanessa Feltz mercilessly mocked Meghan Markle's new Netflix series in a scathing parody, taking aim at the Duchess over-the-top hosting in her reality show. Reality show? Oh, God. Anyway, there she is on the right side, looking like a blessed fool, walking around that little crappy kitchen that they put together for her. They thought this was going to work. They really thought Vanessa Feltz and her vitriolic attacks upon Meghan was going to be the best thing since sliced bread. And it failed miserably, because with some 60,000 viewers watching the show that preceded her show, 80,000 people said nope and turned it off and didn't come back until her show was over. And then the same 80,000 people came back to continue watching television, which just goes to show there is not an appetite among most logical people for this Meghan bashing. That model is a failure. It is a non-starter. Oh, cry me a river. Loose Women's Nadia Swalha brands ITV cuts brutal. Yeah, those cuts are brutal. Loose Women panelist Nadia Swaha, am I saying it right? Swaha has said ITV cuts to the daytime schedule came out of the blue and have been absolutely brutal for those working on the show. Well, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, sure. But they're not addressing the needs of the average person in the United Kingdom. They're not addressing the needs. They are not providing the type of interesting topics that were such a staple to the daytime talk show. It is a lot of puff. It is a lot of gossip. When I was growing up, I watched the Phil Donahue show. I watched Phil Donahue. I was in grade school watching Phil Donahue. I learned about so many things from Phil Donahue. My father watched it. I watched it with him. And it was informing. I couldn't imagine Phil Donahue discussing a lifestyle show. Not that that was a big thing back in the day, but you get the point. I couldn't imagine Phil Donahue being hypercritical and mocking Julia Childs. Right? Or how about Phil Donahue spending half of the show, or sometimes 3 or 4 shows a week, talking about whether or not Princess Diana used her HRH titles. I don't know how that's entertaining to people. I really don't. But it has become a soap opera, and they have gone out of their way to come up with newer and interesting ways to tell the same story over and over again, even if it's not true. Okay, wait, where is that at? Oh, Lord, where are my slides? There we go. Now, where is that one? Oh, where's my slides for today? Today's okay. Oh, Lord, I lost track of my slides. There we go. I got them. All right, that was scary. So it says, Loose Women panelist Nadia, what's her name, has said ITV cuts to the daytime schedule came out of the blue and have been absolutely brutal for those working on the show. ITV announced last week that it was axing more than 220 jobs and making cuts to shows including Loose Women and Lorraine. Speaking on her YouTube channel, what's her name said, what's been brutal absolutely brutal. Over the last week, honestly, I felt tearful about it, is that hundreds of people are going to be made redundant out of the blue. These are all the people behind the scenes that support us in every way. There have been reports that a pool of panelists will be reduced. And what's her name said she could be let go tomorrow. I could be let go in 5 years. In an announcement last week, ITV boss Kevin Ligo stressed that daytime is a really important part of his programming and said he recognized that the plans will have an impact on staff. Guys, I grew up on television. I loved television. It was the best education, was my TV, PBS, Bill Donahue, even Oprah. I watched television strategically. I watched because I wanted to learn. I watched the travel shows. I watched the science shows, all kinds of stuff. To me, it was a great education. I didn't really bother with all that gossip and stuff like that. Entertainment Tonight and Extra, unless it was someone that I wanted to see in particular, I didn't bother with that stuff. And when I did watch, I just wanted to see, how they lived or what their house looks like or that they're on the road entertaining or something like that. I didn't tune in just to hear awful things about people. Just the lifestyle part was what I really wanted, not all of the bad news and negativity. They have conditioned a lot of people to expect a lot of shade and a lot of petty stuff, but hopefully it is wearing thin. Whether it is one of the morning talk shows like Good Morning America or Good Morning Britain, whatever it is, this has got to stop. It is so pathetic. Pitting one woman against another constantly. And shame on the women that participate in that. And so Vanessa and quite a few other people thought that they were going to build their brand, tearing down women of color in particular, but any woman. They were going to build their brand, tearing women down. Surely there's something more they have to offer, because if it's not, get the hell off of TV. Get off of television if that's all you have to offer. Lorraine used to rule with an iron fist, but bosses take a dim view of her recent behavior. Poisonous whispers revealed as ITV insiders snitch that Katie Hine truth about daytime TV bloodbath. So that's one way to ease people out, is to suddenly have revelations about how awful they were. That's one way to do it. It's just so interesting that which they relied upon over and over again to try to destroy someone they never met for things that they haven't said or haven't done, and definitely weren't even thinking about. But when it comes to them, they either want you to give them a chance or they want you to get rid of everybody else and keep me. They can all go. This confirms what we realized a long time ago, and that is that there is a declining amount of viewers for this type of material. And also, some of those nasty, awful Brexiteers and MAGA people that fuel these shows. I mean, let's face it, there's so much out there. They can't be everywhere at the same time. And sadly, a lot of them are, slowly dying off. And well, the pool of viewers is getting smaller by the day because there's just more to watch. There's more to view. Anyway, Great British Bosses, Invictus Games, Birmingham 2027 for anything but footy, whatever. Is it footy? The Olympic and Paralympic podcast. So there's a podcast about the Birmingham 2027. I haven't listened to it myself, but CEO of Invictus Games, Birmingham 2027, Helen Hallowell, outlines vision for the games on anything but footy podcast. So if you go to Spotify, I think it was Spotify. Anyway, look through the podcast and you can find it. I didn't get the link for it. Yeah, it's is it Spotify? I think it's Spotify. Yeah, that's Spotify symbol, isn't it? Yeah, so it's on Spotify. Great British Bosses. Anything but foodie. What a weird word. But yeah, so it's like a 20-minute podcast about their vision for the Invictus Games. But I'm gonna have to try to remember to watch it later myself or listen to it because I'd be interested to know what's going on. So if you guys don't want to bother with it, I'll just tell you about it. But better to get the information yourself, right? Right. Okay. Broadway's greatest. Oh, let me see here. Reba Henderson, 32 months membership. I did not show. Let me see. ITV did not show Invictus Games. This is what they get. Yes. Thank you, Reba Henderson. That's what they get for not showing the Invictus Games. Yes. The ancestors came down on them. That's a great point, Marshar. There is a lot of pressure coming from the royals, the left behind royals, with all of this nonsense. It is a lot of pressure. Oh, and you guys, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. Let me just continue because this is already so much. I still got quite a bit of stuff to cover, but I'll talk about that some more later. Okay, but then thank you again, Reba Henderson, for the 32 months membership. Okay, so Audra McDonald. She was with Gayle King, and I will let you hear the sound from that exchange. But it was interesting. Okay. Let me cue that up for you.
As we're sitting here today, there's a New Yorker piece.
Yeah, it's only like 35 seconds long.
As we're sitting here today, there's a New Yorker piece. Patti LuPone says about you, Audra is not a friend. Friend with a D. I know there's a lot of back and forth. Were you surprised to hear that said about you from her? And I'm not trying to start a Broadway dust up here, but I'm wondering how you process.
I mean, I don't. If there's a rift between us, it's I don't know what it is. That's something that you'd have to ask Patti about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I haven't seen her in about 11 years just because I've been busy just with life and stuff. So I don't know what rift she's talking about, but you'd have to ask her.
Okay, you guys, yesterday I listened to what is her name? Keisha Lewis. Keisha Lewis had an open letter. She had an open letter that she read on video. And that letter was to Patti LuPone. And apparently it wasn't just, and I didn't see this in the letter, but someone who shared the video, it wasn't just Patti LuPone. It was a pattern of behavior. I'm sorry, Patti LuPone wasn't just, how do I put it? It wasn't just about the exchange with the theater itself, where she complained that the noise was too loud. But wait, do I have that? I'm so sorry about this. Let me see if I do have that available. Because I think it would make more sense if you hear it directly from Keisha, which was not my intention at first, but I think it would make sense. Okay, there it is.
Hi, my name is Keisha Lewis, and I am an actress currently performing in Hell's Kitchen on Broadway. This is an open letter to Miss Patti LuPone. Miss LuPone, I want to make sure that you know that this letter is from me, not from the cast or crew or producers of Hell's Kitchen. I am speaking for Keisha Lewis only. I hope that you will take 5 minutes out of your day to listen to this letter in its entirety. Ms. LuPone, I understand that there have been a couple of situations that have gone on in the last few weeks that I want to address. The first one is that you contacted our theater owner about changing a couple of our sound cues because you found them to be too loud. You also, after our sound design was adjusted, sent flowers to our sound and stage management team, thanking them. Another thing that I'm aware of is that you dismissed publicly signing a fan's Hell's Kitchen playbill because
I'm not signing Hell's Kitchen. They're too loud.
I wanted to address this because, Ms. LuPone, these actions, in my opinion, are bullying. They're offensive. They're racially microaggressive. They're rude. They're rooted in privilege. And these actions also lack a sense of community and leadership for someone as yourself who has been in the business as long as you have.
Okay, so there you go. There was a little clip in the middle of that video, and where she says you refuse to sign a playbill. Well, apparently some people, they will take a playbill from any Broadway show that they've seen. And if they run into someone like Patti LuPone, which so many people love and respect, they will present her with a playbill for another show because that's convenient to them. And in this case, the other show was Hell's Kitchen. And she said, I'm not signing anything from, no, she said, I'm not signing that playbill, not from Hell's Kitchen, which was very tacky for her to express publicly her contempt for another show just because there was some problem with the sound. These buildings where they perform are over 100 years old. Those buildings are landmarked. So you can't just willy-nilly go in there and do all type of soundproofing without possibly compromising these old theater buildings. These buildings are like, what, 120, 130 years old? So you can't expect modern shows to fit easily into these theaters. I go to a movie theater, and sometimes I can hear the screen next door. And that's a modern construction, purpose-built, modern-day movie theater. And sometimes the noise drifts over from the other screening. It happens. And it's very petty that she would publicly speak out about not signing a playbill to make sure that it reinforces her contempt for this show that just happens to be a mostly Black production. That's where it becomes so odd, because it's tough enough as it is as a Black person to make it on Broadway, right? Obviously, Keisha and Audra McDonald have been exceptional, but there has been a struggle to get into those positions. And in the political climate that we have nowadays, to publicly display such apathy again and again for a certain race of people who find themselves, like so many other minorities in the United States, find themselves with a sense of alarm over the politics of the day. That was just very careless on her part. And it seems like a pattern of behavior for Patti LuPone, who, as I said yesterday, has always been one of my favorite Broadway stars. And just in case you missed it, I'll let you hear it again if I can. Let me turn this way up where she mentions, "I'm not signing that playbill."
I'm not signing a Hell's Kitchen. They're too loud.
I'm not signing a Hell's Kitchen. They're too loud. As though too loud equals Black. Too loud equals Black. A Tony Award winning production is too loud, and it just happens to be Black. I don't think I've ever heard anything like this on Broadway. This is a first for me. I don't know about other people, but this is a first for me. I don't frequent Broadway, so I don't know what the standards are. But just by chance, she went there. And she's really digging a hole for herself. She's really digging a hole for herself, because there are so many people there's so many people that are kind of turning against her right now. And yet Audra McDonald is the most nominated star on Broadway. The most nominated. So her star continues to shine. And Patti LuPone is going to go into retirement a very vilified and despised person. Variety had an article, Audra McDonald clueless over Patti LuPone, calling her not a friend due to falling out. I haven't seen her in 11 years. I don't know what rift she's talking about. In the current political climate, there are so many people who feel as though they have targets on them anyway. And just because you have a lot of money, or because you're very successful, or because you're very famous, it doesn't mean that you're that much safer than the next person, especially when you're being targeted with dog whistles. And it felt very much like a dog whistle, as if to say, don't go and see that play or that musical, it's too loud. Which starts to sound like, don't go see that, they're Black. Now, I want to believe that that's not what she meant. But if she keeps doing this, If she keeps going there, as they say, then what is someone to think? What are we to assume? Okay, this pendant is inspired by an extract taken from the poem The Eternal Song by 19th century French poet Rosamond Gerard. Was it Gerard? Gerard. Okay, I'm going to leave that one alone. Anyway, this is a pendant that Meghan wore. Wild at Heart Foundation funds animal welfare projects all over the world. In particular, they want to compassionately reduce the world's 600 million stray dog population. We do this by organizing rescue projects, neutering programs, and education initiatives. By 2025, they want to rehome 10,000 dogs, neuter 100,000 dogs, and educate 1 million children. So that is what that pendant stands for. And Meghan has been seen wearing that pendant on several occasions. Now, on to our friend Ministry of Hacks.
I wanted to address.
Okay, sorry about that. Whoa, that's kind of loud too, isn't it? Sorry about that.
Just cannot make this stuff. Morning, friends. Happy Wednesday. How are you doing? And in the biggest surprise since water is wet, the sky is blue, grass is green, we're finding out today from Hello that William and Kate are on yet another family holiday. And you just cannot make this stuff up, literally, because it's taken a national security incident in Liverpool for this information to be released by Hello, because there has to be some explanation on why these two cannot visit a city that's currently in shock. Now, thankfully, if you've seen the Liverpool coverage all over the media, thankfully, people are injured. No one has left this planet as a result of it. But it's still, with over 40 people hospitalized, 4 of them in a really serious condition, you would have thought that the hard-working, not British royal family would have sent at least one representative to the city. But no, Kate and William, on holiday yet again, have to do the usual thing of writing a couple of sentences about how sorry they are. Not deeds, just words. The opposite of what the suffragettes literally gave their lives for in the UK. It's just madness. It is just literal, absolute madness how lazy these people are and how the rest of the royal family, to be honest, aren't that much lazier. Comments are open as ever.
Okay, thank you, Martin from Ministry of Hacks. Y'all know why they ain't going up there to Liverpool. They're afraid. And plus, they usually like to go after all the smoke is cleared. Y'all know Princess Diana would have visited those people in the hospital. Diana would have gone to the hospital to see some of those injured people from that event. That was something she was very famous for. But the current occupants of those spaces, they don't want to bother with that kind of stuff. They're not good at it. I mean, you have someone who has elevated their status by using the information, the very shall we say secretive illness that they've had. Cancer was found, or however they put it, because it keeps changing. Anyway, that person rarely discussed cancer, hasn't spearheaded any type of anything to really help cancer patients. That hasn't done any like public service announcements or informed or anything like that, which probably makes sense because it will just remind people that they're able to jump the queue and be treated immediately, whereas other people sometimes um, find it difficult to get treatment in time or to even get an appointment for that matter. So that would be a reminder. But yeah, it's astounding how lazy they are and have been for years, and they still get away with it. They still get away with it. Now, I don't know anything about them being on vacation, but if Martins say they are, I can believe it, because when they're absent, they can be any given place. They can be any given place. They may be trying to get as much in as possible just in case, as I said, Charles is in a bad way and, the clock is running down on him. And maybe they want to try to get in as much of their recreation as possible before they can't. But I don't see anything changing once Will is on the throne. I don't see anything changing. He will take as much time away from work as he chooses. And there'll be nothing said about it. The press will cover for him. They have become very dependent upon the invisible contract to cover for everything, big or small. There's going to be a team of people hitting the airways in the print, like Rebecca English, explaining away their misdeeds, explaining away their absence. They depend upon that. So nothing is going to change, except they'll go through whatever coronation, if he chooses to have a coronation. And then they'll just go back to their same, we are raising a future king. We got to have time for family. Family comes first. That's the usual excuse. Yes, they'll be filming another one of those commercials. Absolutely. Yeah, they get a lot of mileage out of those commercials. So yeah, that makes sense. I'm with you on that. They'll just film another commercial. This guy was frothing at the mouth. Hypocrite. Prince Harry blasted after jetting off to China to lecture about net zero. I have never, ever heard Prince Harry tell people not to travel. I've never heard Prince Harry lecture anybody about carbon emissions. And you notice when they do this, they never want to mention Travelers, because Travelers is a huge success story for Harry. It is evidence of a huge success in his career, and they don't want to discuss it. They never name it. They rarely discuss it. But they tell us that Harry lectures us about the environment. I've never heard it. They never produce anything where Harry is explaining how we need to reduce carbon emissions. Travelist gives the consumer, it empowers the consumer to research the amount of carbon emissions that they generate. It brings together all of that data from multiple billion dollar corporations. It brings all that information together and it goes into one database, which is shared throughout the industry that says, if I take this flight, I generate that much carbon emission. If I take this train, if I drive, or if I take a taxi, whatever, all of these things, they can measure the amount of carbon emissions. And that's all Travelist is about empowering the consumer to make those choices. Well, I'm sorry, there's the other thing is about the sustainability of travel. It also involves making sure that it's more equitable to people that are native of wherever these travel destinations are. There's that too. That's the other part of it. But there has been no lecture from Harry about carbon emissions. That is the other brother that lectures everybody and then does exactly what he says you shouldn't do. And it's the same as when they throw Meghan's name in there. Meghan has never said anything about carbon emissions. If there was such a conversation, we would have seen it by now. They never produce any evidence, written or otherwise, where Harry has been lecturing people. What the tabloids do, and this channel, whatever they want to call it, is that they lump anybody that they have deemed woke or liberal into one big group, and sometimes do an entire article about who's taken a private jet to where. They do that constantly. But the people that are not on the list is Charles, Camilla, William, Kate. They never make that list. They are omitted, even when they go on vacation, even when they take a helicopter, when they could have easily have driven that distance or taken a train. They could take the train. But instead, they only take a train when they are talking about the environment. And after they get there, the helicopter that was put in place for their departure whisked them right back to wherever they were or wherever they want to go. So this guy is calling Harry a hypocrite for something that he never said. And I'm going to keep saying it. Harry has never lectured anybody about carbon emissions. I have not seen it. I cannot find any place where Harry has said, don't do this, and then turn around and do it himself. This is what they tell you that Harry has said. I've seen no evidence of it. Deflection from Charles and Wank trips. Meghan was on, what is that? American Airlines. Right. Absolutely. Meghan took a commercial flight. She took a commercial flight. And we have the evidence. So there you go. Thank you very much, Legs. So yeah, there you go. Prince Harry blasted after jetting off to China. What's with Shanghai and that triggers the tabloids? They were very rude about the Duchess of Windsor and this city. Oh yeah, that's right. Remember they kept saying that that Wallace Simpson learned some type of skills in Shanghai. But yeah, there is something about Shanghai that seems to trigger the British tabloid media. I didn't think about that, but yeah, that's true. They used to say some very crude things about the Duchess of Windsor and Shanghai. I think they attributed that to the Queen Mother. Okay. Losing my voice a little bit here. This doesn't sound weird, does it? Kensington Palace. The Prince of Wales, founder and president of Earthshot Prize, this morning received Jason Knoff at Windsor Castle. He received Jason Knoff, y'all. I'm not sure how to take that. William received William received Jason Knoff. Did he now? Does that happen often? How often does he receive Jason Knoff? And does it have anything to do with a pulled pork sandwich? That's my question. How often does he receive Jason Knoff? And does it have anything to do whatsoever with a pulled pork sandwich? I'm just asking for a friend. I hope I'm not being too intrusive, but I'm just asking for a friend. Does this reception have anything to do with a pulled pork sandwich? Okay. I'm just asking because I thought William was receiving other visitors, all of which are bearded, as a matter of fact, just by chance. But I thought he was receiving other visitors. So, okay. Well, if there's no updates about that, then I'll just move on. Marshar, I am shocked. You went there. Straight to the point. Remember, the airplane said that William, they have a flight for him. Peggy's having more trips as of recently. He is starving. Yes, he is starving. What is that? Oh, I don't know. I don't. I have to look into that. I don't know anything about commuting those sentences. I haven't seen anything about that, but I will check it out and I'll get back to you about that. And that's only because I try to avoid anything to do with the Orange Menace because, my nerves be kind of bad. And also I'm still trying to sort out what receive Jason Knoff really means. Anyway, here's a collection of some of those people in the memes. Once they got news about William receiving Jason Knoff, as you can see, it kind of caught a whole flight of people off guard. All of these people were not sure. Even the cats are confused. What does that mean? Receive Jason Knoff. What does that mean? Well, that is, I mean, some people would just say, y'all nasty, but we don't even know what it means. So we can't know if it's nasty or not. Even the pictures on the wall look disgusted. Yeah. Even random images of pictures on the wall has that disgusted look. What does one mean about receiving Jason Knoff? But you guys, I'm just about done. I'm going to end with this right here. You guys, Royal Duchess knocked it out the you know what park today. I was like, I got to go back and watch it again. I have to go back and watch it again. I was actually out running an errand when it came on, and so I couldn't watch it and listen at the same time. And then I came home and I had to do some work outside, so I could not watch it and listen at the same time. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch it again. But it was outstanding today. What Duchess Royal is able to put together for us is nothing short of a miracle, because a lot of stuff I just forget. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, that did happen. And that is in a chronological order, helps me to retain what I'm watching. So I'm going to tell you guys again, make sure you go over there and watch it. I am going to share the link with you right now. I thought it was absolutely outstanding today. They're always great, but today was just so much more. And I'm just like, I don't know if Glow, you know, on Twitter, she uses the name Glow. I don't know if she's doing this professionally someplace else, but it is so darn impressive. So let me see here. Is this the one for today? Yes, this is the one for today. I was like, this is awesome. Oh, and by the way, let me see. Has she reached the 10,000 subscribers yet? Has she reached her 10,000? Yes, she's got her 10,000 subscribers. Congratulations, Duchess Royal. She has her 10,000 subscribers and deserves so much more. Oh, I was just so in awe of today. I'm like, this is awesome. Okay, so there is, oh, I'm sorry, Lydia, I didn't see you had put it up there already. But there's that, and I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat. Oh gosh, I didn't do that, did I? Okay. There we go. Okay, there we are. Pin it to the top of the chat. Check it out. It was awesome today. Just awesome. Let me find some of the comments that she has received. Thank you, Duchess Royal. This is against my religion. Okay, that's about something on there. I am okay. They're talking about something she said about the church. I want to hear how they feel about her and her work. Here we go. I am in awe of your editing skills. This was professional. Well done. I have hit the notification bell for your next video. And someone else says, hi, I came here because of Baron at Royal Sussex. Recommendation. And have to say, I enjoyed the format of this podcast. Well done, Duchess Royal. And, oh, there's someone else says, oh my God, this is so funny. I love it. Yeah, it's fun and informative. It is fun and informative. Okay. Oh, I love this one. Thank you for the mind-blowing podcast. The inclusion of the word of God should give everyone clarity about the lies told to the world about the monarchy. Harry and Meghan were blessed with God's favor to be thrown out of the lie. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to have to watch it again. So good. Wow. All right. So again, the link is at the top of the chat, but don't just go over there and watch it. Make sure that you subscribe. That way it will drive the algorithm for more people to see her work, because if there was ever a time when it was needed, it is now, while the institution, the firm, the Left Behind Royals, and of course, the tabloid media, they have become increasingly desperate, and desperate people are so dangerous. So we need all the receipts and all the information as much as possible to get to the right places and the right people, so that our faves, Harry and Meghan, get the proper support they need, and as much of it as possible, because they have set out to try and destroy them, to make it where they can't earn money. Nobody wants to work with them. They're afraid to leave the house. It's all part of a tactic to wear people down, and to make the Sussexes some kind of a pariah in the community. I just saw another article today, something about the Sussexes not integrating into the community. They tell that lie like on a monthly basis, and then they'll go to someone who used to be a British reporter who now lives somewhere by Montecito. They claim that this person is a neighbor of Harry and Meghan, although they never show the actual distance. Harry and Meghan lives in a gated area. This person lives in something that looks like a boarding house. Anyway, it is someone who used to write stuff much like the Daily Mail. So why should we trust him to tell us? Some old royalist is going to tell us what the average person in Montecito thinks about Meghan and Harry. Well, I never see her, but I see Harry, and it's just such a shame. He always looks so unhappy. It's the same thing. Rinse and repeat. And then if that's not enough, they will fly someone over from the UK to speak to some of Harry and Meghan's neighbors, and it's the same one or two people. That's what we're up against. That is what we're up against. So again, the more we can put the truth out there, it makes things so much easier for everyone involved, because we need that alternative to the lies and the misrepresentation. So that's why it's important for all of these Sussex-friendly spaces to grow. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, I'm just looking at some of your comments. But anyway, you guys, I am done. Have a good night. I really appreciate all of your support. And thank you for everyone who has gone over to Duchess Royal and given support to her work, because, like I said, is I think that it is at some point Duchess Royal is going to have a very important role in helping people to understand exactly how we have gotten to this point, right? And the only way that we can demonstrate that is to have receipts. We have to have receipts. Good morning, Sandra. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. Well, I think that should do it. Thank you very much. Love you guys. I will see you all next time.